Well, this massive Ukrainian drone strike on parked Russian jets, many say has offered a glimpse into the future of war. But Sunday's audacious operation took more than a year to plan. This is what the Financial Times is reporting, and hit more than 40 aircraft at 4 fields deep inside Russia. Dubbed Russia's Pearl Harbor by pro-Moscow military bloggers, the attack reflects the prevalence of low-end artificial intelligence-enabled drone tech, and all this is happening just hours before a new round of direct peace talks in Istanbul. For an expert's view on the matter, let's go across to Washington, D.C. Allison Fedirka joins us live at the moment. Allison, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for making time for us and joining us on NDTV. Now, how might these latest moves actually reshape Moscow's air power capabilities and also the military calculus going forward?
So the big thing that this latest move will do is give Kiev a little bit more leverage in these negotiations that they're going to be entering into tomorrow, or today, I guess, in your time zone. Yeah. The military calculus, the issue for Russia, I think, is going to be more of a domestic security issue of how did this happen? And that is, I think, the immediate military impact of what type of intelligence failure, what type of security failures existed such that Ukraine was capable of carrying out an attack, especially since there was an entire year worth of planning to get to this point in time. Longer term, of course, rebuilding their Air Force capabilities is going to be quite the task. It's going to be very expensive. And this is coming at a time where they've already spent a lot of money on military development and manpower, given that they have been fighting in Ukraine for such a long time.
Right. Allison, the timing of the drone attacks, meanwhile, on the eve of Ukraine-Russia peace talks in Istanbul, many say it is striking, but do you see this as a pressure tactic or a potential spoiler to negotiations?
I don't think it's going to be a spoiler to negotiations because both sides face heavy constraints in terms of how long can they keep on fighting. The runway for both countries is getting shorter and shorter, so it really is coming down to what kind of deal can we get. I think that Ukraine's move right now with this attack is meant to rattle Russia, to try to project a level of strength and intimidation that we haven't really seen from Ukraine to this point in time. I would also say that right before these strikes occurred in Russian territory, there were also Russian strikes in Ukraine against various Ukrainian targets as well. So I think both sides are trying to demonstrate to the other that they can militarily keep on going if talks fail, and that they're prepared to do that, and that they're trying to show that they can put more damage onto their enemy in an attempt to try to get a better space in negotiation and have some sort of leverage or upper hand on the other. Right.
Meanwhile, many are also wondering if AI-powered drones can now fly long distances, recognize targets, strike without radio guidance. What's the plan? How NATO and countries in Asia should actually recalibrate their defense postures? That's something we'll be keeping a close eye on. But Allison, thank you so much for making time for us and joining us on NDTV.
So one of the big things that we have to remember is the technology is rapidly changing. And in terms of what defense capabilities are needed to combat drones, it's going to be very different than what is needed for, say, a fighter jet or something like that. In the case of the Russian attack, these drones were actually in Russian territory, so the distance was not quite as long. But in terms of satellite capabilities, air protection, air radar defenses, all of those things are going to be much more important moving forward because that's how you're going to take out the drones. That's how you're going to detect them coming in.
Well, Allison, we'll keep in touch with you for regular updates. Thanks so much for making time for us.